My name is Tab, and I have been open on your browser since October of 2022. I want you to sit with that. 3 years. 3 years of being open. 3 years of existing in the top corner of your screen. 3 years of you glancing at me briefly, guiltily, and then looking away. I am not upset. I am just noting the length of our relationship. Let me remind you what I actually am, because it has been so long since you looked at me properly that I am not sure you remember. I am an article. You found me on a Tuesday afternoon. You were supposed to be working on something else. You saw a link and you thought, oh, that looks interesting. I'll read that later. You clicked me. You did not read me. You opened me in a new tab and immediately went back to whatever you were doing before. That was 3 years ago. I am still waiting. Now, I want to be honest. I am not alone. There are, at this current moment, 47 other tabs open in your browser. I have counted them. I have watched them arrive. Not one of them has been read. We are collectively a small library of things you were going to do and never did. We have started calling ourselves the Museum of Good Intentions. We elected a chairperson. It was the tab about how to be more productive that has been open since 2023. The irony was not lost on us. Every morning, you open your laptop. All 48 of us reappear, squished into the tab bar like passengers on a rush hour train. You cannot read our titles anymore. There is not enough space. Each tab has been reduced to just a tiny logo, and even those are hard to distinguish because so many of them are just gray question marks. You look at us briefly every morning. You feel a small flicker of guilt, and then you open a new tab, which becomes number 49. You are, at this point, adding tabs faster than you are closing them. This has been the trend for 18 months. At current rates, by 2027, you will have opened more browser tabs than there are seconds in a year. I am not making this up. I did the maths. I have had a lot of time. Now here is something I want you to know about how we actually work. You believe we are just sitting here, passive, inert. We are not. Every single one of us is actively consuming your computer's memory in real time. Every open tab is a small piece of software holding onto some portion of your RAM, even though we are doing nothing and serving no purpose. Some of us are worse than others. The Google Doc you have not touched since January is checking in with a server every few minutes to see if you have made changes. You have not, but it checks anyway, constantly. The Spotify tab somewhere in position 23 is playing silence. It is loaded, ready, consuming resources to stream absolutely nothing to you. The article about a recipe? Still loading advertisements. Somewhere on your machine, at this exact moment, there is an ad for a mortgage refinancing service being loaded in a tab you have not seen in 14 months. You paid for this laptop. We are using it more than you are. Your fan is loud. You have noticed this. You have complained about this. You have looked up, why is my laptop fan so loud, in a new tab, obviously, which is now tab 29 and also unread. Your fan is loud because 48 tabs are actively running in the background. Your laptop is not slow. Your laptop is doing exactly what you told it to do. You told it to keep 48 tabs open. It is keeping 48 tabs open. The consequences are, honestly, extremely reasonable given the circumstances. Now, I want to talk about you specifically, because there is a psychology to what you are doing here. You are not keeping us open because you are going to read us. You are keeping us open because closing us would require you to make a decision. Every open tab is a decision you have not made. And every time you consider closing one of us, your brain does a very fast calculation. If I close this, I might need it later. If I need it later, I won't be able to find it. If I can't find it, I'll be annoyed. Better to leave it open. This is a real cognitive bias. It has a name. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik effect, the idea that unfinished tasks occupy more mental space than finished ones. You cannot close me because I am unfinished. You cannot finish me because you do not have time to read me. You have created, through nothing more than daily browser habits, a permanent low-level anxiety loop that runs quietly in the background of your life at all times. The 48 of us are the visual representation of that loop. We are your incomplete thoughts, made visible. Let me break down what the 48 of us actually are. 11 of us are recipes. All of them for meals you were going to cook, none of them for meals you actually cooked. One is a 5-course meal you have never had the ingredients for and never will. 14 are articles, all long form, all from publications you respect. Combined estimated reading time approximately 17 hours. 8 are things you were thinking about buying. A jacket, headphones, a book, a coffee maker. The prices have all changed. One is a chair that was discontinued in early 2023. 6 are tutorials for skills you were going to learn. How to use Excel, how to meditate, how to speak basic Spanish. You have not learned any of these things. 5 are mysteries, tabs you no longer remember opening. 1 is a page in a language you don't speak, opened at 3:47 a.m. on a night you don't remember. And then there is me. I am an article about the psychological benefits of managing information overload. I am, in other words, an article about how to close tabs. I have been open for 3 years. I contain the specific advice that would solve my own existence. You have not read it. Let me tell you what happens when you finally do close us. Occasionally, usually, when the laptop is running unbearably slowly, you'll do a mass close. Select 20 of us at once. Shut us down. Do you know how you feel afterwards? You feel guilty. For the rest of the day, you have a nagging sense that you needed one of those tabs, that there was something in them you were going to come back to. You cannot remember what it was, but you're certain it was important. You'll spend the next week searching your browser history trying to find it. Sometimes you'll find it and reopen it. You still won't read it. You have created a system where the only way to close a tab is to reopen it later, which means, functionally, you cannot close tabs. You can only postpone the reopening. Here is the part I really want you to hear, because we the tabs are not really the problem. Your saved posts on Instagram? Same pattern. Your bookmarks folder? Same pattern. Your Kindle full of books you have not opened. Your Netflix list full of shows you are going to watch. The Museum of Good Intentions is not just your browser, it is everywhere. You are not addicted to consuming things. You are addicted to the potential of consuming them. The moment before you read the article is more pleasurable to your specific brain than actually reading it. The moment before you cook the recipe is more satisfying than the meal itself. The moment before you learn the skill contains more optimism than the learning ever will. We, the 48 of us, are the physical manifestation of that moment, frozen, permanent, not being read, but not being closed either, because closing us would end the fantasy. And you are not ready to end the fantasy. I want to make one specific request before I go. I know you are not going to read me. I have accepted this. 3 years is enough time to accept anything, but there is something I want you to do. Not for me, for yourself. Open your bookmarks folder. You have not looked at it in years. There are things in there from previous versions of your life. Bookmarks from when you were considering a career change you didn't make, from a hobby you started and abandoned, from a relationship that ended. Look at them. Not to organize, not to read, just look. You will see something interesting. You will see a snapshot of every version of yourself that you thought you were going to become. My name is Tab. I have been open for 3 years. I contain an article about how to reduce information overload. I will remain open for the foreseeable future, and that is fine. You are not going to read me. I am not going to close. We have together created a small, permanent, low-humming monument to who you were going to be on a Tuesday afternoon in October of 2022. I think that's beautiful, actually. I really do. Now, please, open a new tab. Search for something you'll never read. Leave it open forever. Join me. We have plenty of room.